What does a crazy plant person and living healthy and whole have in common? Stay tuned to find out. Over the last few months, I became a crazy plant lady. It all started after we'd bought a fire pit that we had to return, and instead of going and getting a new one, I accidentally came home with 4 brand new plants with beautiful pots to put them in. I love plants, I love everything about them. I love the way they make a space feel, I love the look of them, but I also realised that plants actually take a bit of work to keep them healthy and to keep them in full bloom. And today I want to speak to us about what it means for us to be in full bloom and to be in our best health. And actually to do that, it means that we need to be nourished by God, we need to find ourselves in a faith community, and we need to find ourselves empowered in our story. So I admit that I'm a crazy plant lady, but I also have something else to confess. I failed the plant community. I'm not very good at actually following through with the care that comes with pot plants. We bought an IKEA fiddle leaf and it was a beautiful plant that we'd got when we bought our cushions and our rugs, and we came home with a lovely fiddle leaf. But actually that fiddle leaf quickly died. I'd put it in the wrong spot in the house and I forgot to look after it. So I gave up on it pretty quickly. When it started to die, I just thought, oh, that's all right, I'll put it outside. But my secret weapon, Andy, my husband, came along, and he actually really cares about plants. He knows the right conditions that they need, and he knows how to look after them. And he came back to that fiddle leaf and he replanted it, and he put it in the right position in our place that would get the sunlight. He remembered to water it, he looked after it. He knew the nourishment that this plant needed. And actually, in order for us to be in full health, we need to be well nourished. And I want to read to you what nourishment means. Nourishment is the food that you are given that helps with growth, health, and good condition. And actually, we need good nourishment for our soul in order for us to be our most healthy and for us to be in full bloom. In John 15, Jesus talks about another type of plant that was well nourished. He talks about the grapevine. It says in John 15, verses 1 to 8, "I am the true grapevine, and my Father is the gardener. He cuts off every branch of mine that doesn't produce fruit, and he prunes the branches that do bear fruit, so they will produce even more. You have already been pruned and purified by the message I have given you. Remain in me, and I will remain in you. For a branch cannot produce fruit if it is severed from the vine, and you cannot be fruitful unless you remain in me." I want to pause there on that word remain. It's a very strong command, isn't it, to remain. To remain actually means to continue to exist, especially after other similar people or things have ceased to do so. To continue to remain is to stay in that strongest kind of love, that deepest nourishment that we can find. It continues in John 15, verses 1 to 8, says, "Yes, I am the vine and you are the branches. Those who remain in me and I in them will produce much fruit. Apart from me, you can do nothing. Anyone who does not remain in me is thrown away like a useless branch and withers. Such branches are gathered into a pile to be burned. But if you remain in me and my words remain in you, you may ask for anything you want and it will be granted. And when you produce much fruit, you are my true disciples, and this brings glory to my Father." When we are nourished by the vine, it helps us create a lasting fruit, a fruit that won't spoil or fade. And actually, to remain, it takes discipline. And we need to have rhythms that help us to be disciplined and to remain nourished by the vine. What rhythms do you have at the moment that help you stay nourished? Watching our online content, that's a great way to be nourished. Coming to a gathering, a live church service, that's another way to be nourished. Finding friends, close friends that really care about you in a connect group is another way to be nourished. And finding spaces in your week to read your word and to pray, to escape and to be in nature where you can really feel God's love for you. That's a great way to be nourished. When we find those spaces to remain, we can find a nourishment that the world can't give us in any other way. I mentioned earlier that another way for us to be in full health is to be planted together in a faith community. In our home, I love to put plants just where they look nice. The spaces need to be filled with something, but our plants didn't do very well. Just like the fiddle leaf, they started to die. But Andy, he grouped them all together in a little rainforest area in our house. And the plants started to thrive, they started to flourish, they all came to life, and it looks beautiful, that space in our home. I feel like for us as well, when we find ourselves planted in a faith community, it also helps us come alive in who we are in our own faith. I love being part of a faith community. I love the generations. I love looking up and seeing people that can speak into my life, that can help me with my parenting and help me with my faith. I love looking out and having friends that encourage me in where I'm at and in my faith journey, but also in who I am and can speak into me. And I love looking down, and I love seeing the way that I can pass on wisdom to the next generation and the way that I can help them grow in their faith and grow in who God's called them to be. There's something really powerful about coming together and doing journey in our faith together as a community. When we are well nourished and we find ourselves planted in community, we can be empowered in our story. In John 15 verse 16, it goes on to say, "You didn't choose me, I chose you. I appointed you to go and produce lasting fruit, so that the Father will give you whatever you ask for using my name." In this verse, it says that God has appointed you, He has chosen you to produce lasting fruit. I believe that when we're empowered in our story, God is going to use us to create a lasting fruit for the world around us. This year, my birthday and Mother's Day were all in the same week, and my daughter Audrey wrote me a beautiful book. It was my favourite present I got. I wanted to share a little bit of it with you today. Are you ready for story time? Called My Mum, and she wrote all different things about me. She said, "My mum is amazing, and she can do anything." There I am, abseiling, or I think rock climbing or something amazing. She's adventurous. You've got to love the spelling as well. I'm camping. She's kind, and she's wild on the trampoline. My mum's funny, so there you go. I am funny. I didn't think that, but she does, so that's good. I'm kind, I'm clever. I'll fast forward. At the end, my favourite part was she said, "I love my mum because she's amazing and she is powerful." And when I read that page, I actually teared up. And I think it's because we don't always think of ourselves as powerful. When we hear the word powerful, we think people with status, we think of people with money. But my daughter, she said that I was powerful. And it made me rethink what power is. And when my daughter says it about me, I understand that the things that we love to do together, like going camping and being adventurous, and the way she sees me being kind to others, that they're the things that are actually powerful. And I believe when we walk in the strengths and the gifts and the talents that God has for us, and we walk in the journey that He has planned for us, that other people around us will see us as powerful, and that we will be able to empower others when we're walking in the calling that He has for us. My prayer for you today is that as you stand healthy, nourished, in community, empowered in your story, that you won't just find yourself healthy for one season, but actually you'll be in bloom season after season in all that God has for you. Let me pray for you today. God, I just thank you for everybody listening and watching today. God, I pray for those people today that might be feeling tired, that might not be feeling like they are in their full health. God, I pray that today that they will know that there is a God that loves them and that cares for them. I pray, God, that you'll bring peace, God. I pray that you'll bring nourishment, God, for people today. I thank you for those that are in a season of health, and I pray that they will continue to feel empowered and encouraged in who you have called them to be. I pray that today that everybody listening will know that there is a big story for them, and that you care for them, and that you love them, and that you have a big plan for them. In Jesus' name, amen.
Thanks for tuning in and watching Lighthouse Online. We'd love to connect with you, so why not jump on the website, click the connect button, and we'll be in touch with you. Lighthouse is powered by a community of generous givers. We want to invite you to become one of those today. You can do that by jumping on the website and click the giving button. Around here at Lighthouse, prayer is our language of hope. It builds us up and connects us with one another and with God. We'd love to be praying for you, so let us know how we can do that by jumping on our website and clicking the connect button. The next generation are so important to us, and we believe there's no one better to disciple our kids than their mum and dad. So we've given you heaps of resources you can use in your home every single day. Jump on the website and check it out under the Kids tab. We're almost halfway through the school year and holidays are coming up. Lighthouse Youth has been going off, and they're going to celebrate by going on a winter camp up to Blue Gum Lodge in the Blue Mountains. Check out the socials for details. We have awesome stuff coming up at our Lighthouse Live gatherings. We've got baby dedications and baptisms happening on the 27th of June, and on the 4th of July, we begin to celebrate NAIDOC Week. Special guest speakers, Willie Dumas and Sinead Dumas are coming down to speak with us. They're our ACC, New South Wales and ACT Indigenous leaders. We can't wait. Join us 9 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. at the station in Wollongong or 4 p.m. at the Woolshed Chapel in Yala. We hope this has been a blessing to you. See you soon.